DreAllDay.com.
Tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative, which is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques all underneath the umbrella of one unifying philosophy that is called work on your game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is we're getting into part 3 of our what will be a 7-part series on 21 common mistakes entrepreneurs make. Before we do that, I remind you, I send out a text every day, guaranteed to have you focused, sharp, and on point every week. Guaranteed to do the same thing. I call it the daily motivation and the Monday motivation, respectively. You can get that text by joining my text community. My number is 305-384-6894. Once you join us, we'll tell you your options from there. Secondly, Work on Your Game University. Every challenge and every mistake that I bring up here in this series are things that we work with people on fixing inside of Work on Your Game University. We have a 4-part framework based around mindset, strategy, systems, and accountability. And if you want to see who we worked with in the past and how we could possibly help you moving forward, go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Again, workonyourgameuniversity.com. The link is down below. You can schedule a time to get on a call with us to move forward from there. That all out the way, we can get right into this. You've already gotten your intro a couple episodes back, the first episode in this series. So we can jump right in at point number 7. We are talking the 21 common mistakes entrepreneurs make. Number 7, lack of or poor delegation. Lack of or poor delegation. What does delegation mean? Delegation is when you pass off a job to someone or something other than yourself. And look up the word delegation. It says the act or process of delegating or being delegated. It's a terrible definition because, well, actually it's not terrible. We just go look up the word delegate. And it means to entrust a task or responsibility to another person, typically one who is less senior than oneself. So basically you're passing a task off to someone else who can do it instead of you doing it. Why is this an entrepreneurial mistake to either not delegate or be bad at delegating? Well, many entrepreneurs start their businesses by doing everything by themselves, alone. I started my business doing everything by myself, alone. And I'm not just talking about people who do things online. I know people who are in finance businesses who started their businesses, just them, servicing their clients. I know people who own authorized mobile dealerships, like a mobile, not mobile, but authorized AT&T dealerships or T-Mobile dealerships, where now they have an entire conglomerate. They have franchises, but they started out just having just themselves working in a kiosk in a mall from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. I know people who have done that. I know people who run childcare businesses who started everything just themselves, just helping the kids by themselves, and eventually they expanded. So just because you started a business by yourself, however, does not mean that you need to stay doing everything by yourself. As a matter of fact, you probably should not keep doing everything by yourself. If you have a goal of expansion, right? If you have some type of ambition in your business and you want to grow, you probably can't keep doing everything by yourself. Not only shouldn't you, but you can't. As a matter of fact, if you want to grow, this is not the place, this is not the way to do it by yourself. At some point, you will have to delegate some tasks to people and things other than yourself so you can focus more on the things which you do best. And the things you do best is not every single aspect of your job. There's some things you do better than others. So this will allow you to give more value to your customers, clients, audience. They will give more value back in exchange. Why? Because they're getting more. And the way they give you value is by spending more money with you. And you can create offerings that are require a higher investment that people will be happy to give simply because you are giving them more value than you were giving them before. So you just need to find out what is that more value that you can give. You ask your best people, how can I give you more value? They'll probably tell you. So where many entrepreneurs fail is either in never delegating or just being bad at delegating. This is the entrepreneur who keeps doing everything on their own because either they are afraid of giving up control, meaning they don't want anyone else to run their Facebook account because they are afraid of somebody messing up their Facebook account, whatever that means, or they're too lazy to go through the hiring and training process. You just don't want to put out the job postings and then have to let the candidates come in and sort through the candidates. Then you got to pre-interview people, and you got to go through all that screening, and then you got to interview people, and you got to make a decision. Then once you hire them, now you got to train them and you got to teach them everything. And I know a lot of entrepreneurs who are just lazy when it comes to that. They just don't want to go through that process. Good news with that is you don't necessarily have to do it all on your own. You can hire other people who can do all the hiring process for you. There are businesses that literally That's literally what they do. They help you find assistants. They help you find whatever type of staff you need. There is someone who has a full-time business where all they do is find the kind of staff that you need in your business. So if you are too lazy to do that on your own, you don't have to beat yourself up about it. You could beat yourself up about it, but you don't have to. You could either stop being lazy and do it, or you could actually stop being lazy and do it. Let me not leave it at that, because that's not enough to move people to actually get it done. If you're a member of Working Your Game University, I will walk you through, first of all, get you in the right frame of mind. Then we'll come up with a plan to do it, then a system so it can work smoothly, and then accountability to make sure that things get done as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So that's the longer answer to just do it. Or you go hire somebody who will do it. So if you have this issue of you are too lazy to do it, then there are fixes to that. Or another reason why people don't delegate, or they delegate poorly, is that you are just not that good at communicating the things that you need to teach to the people who you have delegated. So you have a task that you want to pass off to someone, but you didn't do a good job of teaching them the task. So then they're all messing it up, and you're getting annoyed because they're messing it up. And then you may start to blame them, or you may blame yourself, and they're frustrated and nothing's working simply because someone has failed in communication. And that someone will be you, the boss, or the person in charge. That it always comes back to the person who's in charge. So I've seen all of these happen on a consistent basis with entrepreneurs. Your ability to let go of lower value activities in your business and thus raise the level of your business's performance in the process so that you can focus on higher level stuff. This is directly correlated to your willingness and ability to delegate effectively. In other words, the more stuff you want to do in your business to take your business to a higher level, you got to be willing to delegate the current stuff that you're doing so you can free up the resources that will allow you to go do the other stuff. I can't, if my hands are full, and most entrepreneurs who I know, you're using up all the time that you have and the energy that you have doing what you're doing right now. So if you want to do higher level stuff, in order for you to free up the resources, the time, attention, and energy to do that higher level stuff, you got to drop some of the stuff you got. You don't have more arms or more hands to pick up more stuff. My son is, by the time you all hear this, he's in 16, close to 17 months of age, and he just picks up little artifacts on the ground. So he'll pick up little pebbles or rocks or acorns and stuff like that. And one day we were out, and there were other kids at the park, and this kid had brought all their toys with them. So they got all these toy cars on the ground. They let my son play with the toys, and he has two of the cars in his hand. He has one car in the right hand, one car in the left hand, and most human beings have only two hands. Then he saw something else on the ground that he wanted to play with, and he wanted to pick it up, and I could see it in his face. He was determined to pick it up. The problem is he had no more hands. And I said to him, son, you ain't got no more hands. You got to put something down, or what you gonna do? And he kind of couldn't figure it out. He had to, I guess, pass on picking up the new thing. And some of you entrepreneurs are like that. All right, your hands are full. You don't have a third hand to pick up another thing, but you want to do something else. So you got to put something down in order to pick something up. The challenge is not that there are too many things that you want to pick up. The challenge is you got to decide which ones to put down and which ones to pick up. All right, that's the question that you need to be answering. And unfortunately, many entrepreneurs never bring themselves to this question in the right way, with the right type of framing and understanding of why they need to make this decision. And this is why many entrepreneurs just hold on to the same stuff throughout the life of their business, and they never move up to a higher level because they never want to drop these lower value things. So you got to be willing to drop those things so you can focus on, again, the higher level stuff. So to do that, you got to delegate, pass off to others, and delegate effectively, meaning when you pass off to someone else, they know exactly what to do, and they're doing it at a level that you're happy that you delegated to that person. At Work on Your Game University, as I said, you can learn directly from me how to delegate effectively, what to delegate, when to delegate, and the communication tools necessary to delegate, because delegating is a different level than you doing it yourself. A different level than you just talking about it, as a matter of fact. But when you understand it, then it becomes very easy to do. Moving on to point number 8. Today's topic, once again, is the 21 common mistakes entrepreneurs make in their businesses. Number 8, solving the wrong problems. This is a version of having an inaccurate formula. Solving the wrong problem is a mindset issue that is based in a lack of fundamental understanding of specific areas of your business, or a lack of fundamental understanding of your business, period. If your product is not selling, for example, that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to lower the price of your product. But this is often the default response of entrepreneurs. My product's not selling, so let me lower the price so I can make some more sales. That's not usually the problem. And many entrepreneurs have products that are already priced too low, because I see their prices. I'm like, that price is too low. They're like, well, nobody's buying it. And I have to let them know, just because nobody's buying it does not mean that it's because of the price, obviously, because the price is already too low. Nobody's buying it. The lowness of the price is not your problem. The price period is not the problem. So, excuse me, this is a form of solving the wrong problem. Many entrepreneurs default to price when their product is either selling or not selling. That's usually not the main reason that people buy or don't. Your product is not selling. Again, it may not have anything to do with money. Maybe you need to find different people to sell to. Maybe it'll sell at the price that it's currently at, but just not to the people who are looking at it right now. If your advertisement is not producing the returns that you expected, it could be the audience you are targeting with the ad. It could be the advertisement itself, like it just is not catching the eyes of the right people. It could be the words around the advertisement, the copy that you've written. It could be that you haven't run the ad long enough. It just hasn't reached enough of the right people because the ad algorithm hasn't figured out who to show this ad to yet. It could be whatever, excuse me. It could be that people are clicking on the ad, but whatever they see after they click on the ad, it's not compelling enough to move them to take the subsequent action that you want them to take. And that's why the ad is not performing. It could be any one of those things. It could be the offering itself. If you're selling something on the page that the ad sends people to, maybe the price is not right. Maybe the offer is not right. Maybe there's not enough stuff in it. Maybe there's too much stuff in it. It could be a lot of different reasons, as you can see, why the ad is not working. But, and we talked about this in the previous episode in this series, if you misdiagnose the problem, in other words, you think the problem is one thing, but it's actually another thing, you will never solve the problem. This is what happens with a lot of people. They misdiagnose problems. You can't misdiagnose problems. So you have to be clear on what exactly the problem is in your business. And again, you don't have to try to do this on your own. You don't have to be the doctor and put the stethoscope on, that thing that doctors usually have around their necks, and they put it on your heart to hear your heartbeat. You don't have to be the doctor. All right? Don't be the doctor. What you need to do is go get with someone. Work on Your Game University is one of those places you can get with those someones who can help you diagnose the issues in your business. You tell us what the issue is. We'll find out why that issue exists, and we will fix it accurately, not guessing, but accurately, so that you no longer have the problem. Stop playing the guessing game. And keep in mind, folks, we're on the clock. You ain't got forever to get these problems solved. Number 9, we are talking here today about the 21 most common mistakes that entrepreneurs make. Number 9, not knowing your numbers. Not knowing your numbers. This can be as simple as tracking your spending and income. So we talked about bad math in the first episode of this series. Knowing your numbers is about just knowing the actual numbers of what's happening in your business. Just a snapshot of what's going on in your business. And when something changes, what does that actually mean? You should know, numbers wise. So tracking and spending your income. How many entrepreneurs listen to this? How many of you track your spending and income? You track every dollar that goes out and every dollar that comes in. How many of you do this? How many of you are not doing this? You need to be doing this. If you run ads, what does it cost you to get a new lead to your business? How much is a new lead costing you if you're running ads? Every time a new lead comes in, how much money gets spent? What does it cost to generate a new customer? Whoever's in charge of the ads should know the answers to these questions. Even if it's not you, somebody should know the answer to this question. For you to get a product out the door once it's sold, what does it cost you? Like, somebody orders a book from me. What does it cost me to actually get the book out of the door and on its way to the person who bought from me? I need to know the answer to that question, because it helps me understand the math of how much money I'm gonna have left over if somebody buys a book. I should know that answer, because that plays a big role in how many books I'm gonna try to sell. Or maybe I should stop selling books because it ain't making me any money. I need to know. If you don't know, you can end up going out of business and don't even know why, even though you're making sales, because you just didn't know your math. So you need to know this. If you sell any type of physical good, what is it costing you to actually fulfill? And we call that fulfillment. In order for you to fulfill the order, especially with physical goods, how much does it cost? You have a physical good, that means you have the good itself costs money. If you have some type of product that has to be manufactured, that costs money. So when you sell books, for example, to get a book actually printed and bound, that means to have the book, like, the pages of the book connected to the spine of the book, that costs money. To actually get a printed copy of my book, The Mirror of Motivation, it costs me money to get a copy of that book. If I want to get 10 copies of the book right now shipped to my house, I have to pay for those books to get printed and shipped to me. That costs. I need to know that number. How much does that cost? And by the way, these costs are continually increasing. So you need to keep that in mind, because that may factor into what you charge for the things that you're selling. Right? You need to know that. because the costs are continually going up. So you know how much it's costing you for any physical good. You sell food, it costs money, right? The kitchen costs money, the ingredients to make the food costs money, storing the food costs money. If you ship food, that costs money. The containers that the food comes in, that costs money. All of these things you need to know about your business. You need to know down to the penny how much are these things costing you so you can do simple math as to should I do more of this or should I not? All right, what is your inventory costing you? Any of you who has inventory, where are you storing it and how much does it cost you to hold that stuff wherever you're holding it? Are you paying for the space? How much are you spending on ads? And are you making money, losing money, breaking even on your ads? And how much longer can you keep going in that current situation? The lifetime value of a customer, of your ideal customer. How much is a customer worth over a lifetime? And you decide what a lifetime is. How much time is that? What's the normal lifespan of a customer? How much money does the average person give you? And how much, therefore, should you be spending to get a customer? You got to be clear on what your offerings are in order to do that kind of mathematics. The more of these numbers you know, the better you can make educated decisions about what to do and what not to do. Also, the more space you have to come up with new ideas, to try new things, and have clear parameters around those experiments. And when you try a new experiment, you can say, okay, my cost per lead on this ad was $2. So now I'm going to try something new and I'm going to see if I can get a lead for less than $2. If I can beat that cost of $2, or maybe I'll spend more than $2, but the leads that I get from doing it this way, maybe those people end up spending more money in the long term, so I can afford to spend more money on these leads. See, these are all these different factors that you need to understand the fundamentals of how these work and why they work, so you can make educated decisions about what you're doing in your business and what not to do in your business. But if you don't even understand what these terms are, if you never even thought about these concepts, don't feel bad about yourself. Don't beat yourself up about it, but you should do something about it. And what you should do is come to Work on Your Game University, because I'm a person who understands these concepts. I can help explain these concepts to you in the context of where and when it matters for your business, because not every single piece may matter for your business or for every single product or offer you have in your business. Some of them, there are certain things that matter. For other things, there are a whole different set of things that matter, but you need to know what they are, and you need to know what to do about them once you know them. So once you know what they are, and then you find out what they are for you specifically, you need to know what to do about it. Okay, now you know it. Now what does this mean? What actions should I take based on this knowledge? There's another challenge that entrepreneurs have when it comes to numbers, is that you may now have a number, but now you don't know what does the number mean? Now, what should I do when is this number good? Is it bad? Should I keep this number like this? Does it mean I should do more of what I'm doing? If you don't know what to do with the information, then having the information itself is not that valuable, right? So sometimes we have access to a ton of information, but we don't know what to do with it. So having it doesn't really matter. And these days, all of us have a ton of information at our fingertips. Literally, you get on your smartphone, you can pretty much access 98% of all the world's information. It's all out there. But if you don't know what to do with the information, does it matter that you have it? Not really, especially if you don't know how to access it or where it applies in your life. So all that said, let's recap today's class, which is we're on part 3 of our 7-part series. We're going over 21 most common entrepreneurial mistakes people make in their business. Number 7, lack of and poor delegation. Many entrepreneurs start their businesses doing everything on their own, but if you plan on expanding and growing, you must delegate to other things and other people. And this is a communication skill more than anything else. It's also a mindset thing that you got to have the heart and the stomach to be able to pass off work that you are used to doing on your own. Number 8, solving the wrong problems. This is a mindset issue that's based on a lack of fundamental understandings of specific areas of your business. In other words, you don't even know why something is occurring, so you solve a problem that is not even needing to be fixed. There's something wrong with your engine, but you fix the oil tank. There's something wrong with the oil tank, but you're replacing the gas tank. There's something wrong with the tire on the left, but you're replacing the tire on the right. If you fix the wrong problems, then you're going to keep having the same issues. Number 9, not knowing your numbers. This can be as simple as tracking your spending and income, which a lot of people just don't do. This is the most simple one when it comes to knowing your numbers. Everything that you do in your business that involves any type of number, you need to have measurements for it, so it's easy to track whether you are moving forward, moving backwards, whether you should make a change, whether you're in an emergency situation, whether things are going good or bad. And even when you do have the information at your fingertips, you need to know what that information means, how to interpret it, and what actions you should be taking subsequently based on the information that is in front of you. And this is all things that this is a little bit higher level than basics. I would call this intermediate level stuff from understanding in business. You either need to know it, and if you don't know what any of this stuff means, it all sounds like a foreign language to you, which I know, but the entrepreneurs I talk to, I know a lot of this is a foreign language. That's okay. Again, You don't have to feel bad about any of this, because in the world that we live in today, you have access to other people who already understand this stuff, can make it really simple for you, and whittle the information down, filter it down to only the parts that matter to you. That's the reason why I have Work on Your Game University. You don't have to learn all of it. You just got to know the parts that matter the most for you with what you're doing. And that's why I have the university. So go to workonyourgameuniversity.com, schedule a time to get on the call with us. We can talk to you about where you're at, where you're going, and how we could possibly help you get from where you are to where you want to be. Again, that's all at workonyourgameuniversity.com. The link is down below in the description. Work on your game. Dre, all